Okay, we are starting a new project today. I got this in my head that I wanted to do a rain on an actual wine glass. So I have a wine glass that I just taped a little bit of a rim with electrical tape and got prepped white. And then I decided I wanted to know what would happen if I did it on a plain glass. So this one is just a regular glass, unprepped, just wiped down with alcohol. I still taped off the rim though, because I want a little bit of a buffer when I epoxy over. So on the clear one, I'm going to do darker colors. I have a little bit of black pulled. I'm going to use Pinatas for this one, but I have Manitoba black pulled, Baja blue, and rainforest green, because I think the brighter colors are going to show up better on here. So I'm going to get everything open as I go. Probably just going to use maybe a drop or two of the black. We'll see. And I have, for the white one, I have, these ones are Tim Holtz Ranger. This one is Salmon. I have Moss. And I have Cloudy Blue. So those will be the colors going on this one. And then I have the Pinata Rich Gold for both of them. And this I did shake up, so hopefully it is going to remain shaken. I have a little bottle of just 91% alcohol ready to go. And then I have, this one's from Epoxy Candy. It's the alcohol ink manipulator to hopefully help make the colors run and set the gold in place, because I still have not replaced. This is what I prefer, the alcohol ink blending solution from Adirondack, but I still haven't replaced it, and I still haven't actually decided if this works the same or not. But so that's everything I'm going to use. I have my heat gun ready. I'm going to use it on a high fan, lower heat, because I'm working on glass. I don't want them to get too hot. So I am going to just, I feel like this gold is still not shaken all the way. But I'm going to go ahead and just get started. So I'm going to, you're going to see me coat this with alcohol first, and then do my inks, and then manipulate it with the heat gun some. So that's where we're at. Okay, so you see me fighting with this. I just can't seem to make them do what I want. But I think I'm happy with this one now. It's not exactly what I was going for, but it'll be what it'll be. This I have no idea. Because it's clear, it's hard to tell. So I'm going to let them spin and dry for a couple minutes. And then I'm going to come back in and pull the tape off and take them off the arms so we can see them. Well, this one we'll be able to see because this has that white base, but this we won't be able to see until I pull that off the turner and actually look at the glass. So I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, so these are good and dry. I'm going to go ahead and stop them turning. I'm going to go ahead and peel the electrical tape. Just so we can see it without. I'm going to put new on before I epoxy, but I'm also going to, it's sticking to my gloves. I'm also going to move the tape up slightly. So I don't actually hate this one. Once it dried, I was kind of pleased with it. So that one will be ready for epoxy. Let's see what this one looks like. I'll put that back on there because I'm going to need them again. Peel my tape. And this one's going to be a little harder to see. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper towel. Because I don't have a tissue paper handy. But just so we can, I've got a little cleanup to do around the rim of this one before I retape it and epoxy it. So I don't love it. It's a little darker in some spots than I would like. But I can maybe grab a Q-tip and some alcohol and run along there. But I don't hate it. So, but I'm going to follow through and get epoxy on it. So I'm going to get this cleaned up. I'm going to get these taped back off. And if I decide to run some alcohol on here to lighten this up a little bit, I will come back in and do that. So, glass, based, non-based. Well, there you go. I'll be back with the epoxy step. Okay, so I am ready to get resin on these. I have taped them again. I left a slight gap between the ink and the tape so the resin will go over the top. But other than that, I did nothing to them other than take alcohol and wipe the rims down. So the tape will have to get removed probably in about a half hour because I'm using KS Liquidy split for these. So I will set a timer, come back in to remove that, and then I will be back later when this coat has fully dried. I'm putting about 12.5 mLs on both, on each. Like, that's what I mixed, was 25 total, so 12.5 per cup, roughly. They're fairly small, so you don't want to overdo it. But you want a good enough coat that the resin can cure, so you could probably get away with stretching 10, but I over poured my first part, so here we are. Just trying to make sure it's pretty smooth and I don't have any uncoated spots, I'll be able to feel them, just like on a regular tumbler. So that feels good and coated. I'm going to get to this one. And I know I'm trying to get my room cleaned at some point here to move my filming setup, because I've reached the time of day where it's very difficult to film where I normally do. And I'm only kind of back in my normal spot at that. So I've been struggling, but I really need to get some stuff done. I need to get some content out and try and finish January a little bit stronger than I have been. So I have a scrapbook retreat coming up in March that I'd like to go to, but I have to fund that from the business side of things, and January is a typically slow month to begin with, so, and having problems didn't help. So I'm working on it, trying to get there. It's an expensive weekend, but it's something me, my mom, and my sister have been doing for years and years and years now, so I don't really want to miss out. They do 2 a year, but I can only do 1 a year. Just for time off reasons and, you know, stuff like that. So I did not do the fall one, so I really would like to get to this one. So I am working on it. But I am hopeful that sometime this weekend, I don't think we have any plans, I can actually like really get this room back together, get the new workstation set up the way I'd like it. You know, I have a new mount and different lights, and it should work out better in the long run. So, alright, I'm going to get this glove off. I'm going to torch these real quick. I'm not going to torch them crazy, because again, it's glass, so, and it's cool in this room, so I don't want them to end up like cracking on me. Alright, so that is it for these. I am going to do a matching pair of these in their own video, but I'm going to use the epoxy method of alcohol inking just to see what different look we get. So there will be a very, very similar video coming. Maybe as soon as tomorrow. I don't know when I'm going to get this one out, so I'm not scheduled that far out yet. It kind of depends on when I get a chance to work. But I'm actually going to turn around and start that now, because I have a half hour or so to kill before I can pull the tape. So be watching for that as well. Okay, so these are hopefully ready to come off the turner. I'm going to try not to touch the bottom, because I just touched the bottom of the other set, and yeah, while they feel dry, they weren't quite dry. So that one's off. I'm going to set it down a second, and then I'm going to get this one off and get this turner scooted out of the way. Okay. Somewhat out of the way anyways. So look at that. You can see where the little rim was, where the tape was. Wine glasses like these don't need a ton of coats of epoxy because these aren't going to get stuffed in a cup holder or anything. So if it's good at this point, I might just leave it as is. If it's got any wobble to the bottom, I would have to sand it, but this one looks good. So there's that one. And this one. I struggled with this, but I really think this came out beautifully. I really like the soft colors to it. So I'm going to pull the other two tumblers in and compare them side by side, but I'm going to put the same clip of comparing them in both videos. So rather than filming the same thing twice. Okay, so here's the other one that I did with the epoxy method. And this is the one that I did with the waterfall technique. You can see how, whoops, very, very different they are. They're still both beautiful cups, but very, very different end result. I really lost almost all of the blue on this one, even though I'd added a ton more. So that's how these look. They'll sit to the side and finish curing completely. You hear me dropping them? And then trying to get this one picked up carefully. So these are the two that were done on the clear. This was the epoxy one. This was the rain technique. I am going to say that this is beautiful. I love the amount of gold in it. I like, of the two epoxy ones, I like this one better. But I like them both. But I still prefer the rain one. But two different techniques on glass, just so you can see a comparison. So there you go. Waterfall Rain technique, just using alcohol before the epoxy and doing the alcohol inks right into the epoxy, but same color palette on both. So there you go. Thank you for watching.